2021. We rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Place your right hand over your heart.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, could you call the roll?
Yes, Mayor. A quorum is present for City Council, Successor Agency, and Housing Authority.
Okay, before we get started, could we put up a picture of Ms. Zola Jones? I want to, in recognition of Black History Month, the council would like to recognize longtime Inglewood resident Ms. Zola Jones. Ms. Jones received her nursing diploma from Grady Memorial Hospital School of Nursing in Atlanta, Georgia, and later earned her bachelor and master's degrees in nursing and public administration from Cal State Los Angeles, my alumni. Ms. Jones was a public health nurse from 1961 to 1993, and in 1990 she co-founded Great Beginnings for Black Babies, a premier nonprofit volunteer-run prenatal care organization aimed at addressing the disproportionate infant mortality against African Americans and promoting the healthy development and growth of Black babies and their families. Ms. Jones served as the executive director from 1990 to 2008. Ms. Jones dedicated her life to making a positive impact in the lives of women and babies in the community at large. She has received countless awards, recognitions, and honors. Today, we salute Ms. Zola Jones. Now, public comment. Any persons wishing to make public comment may phone in 888-251-2949 or 215-861-0694, and the access code is 219-4928-pound, 219-4928-pound. Operator, are there any callers for speaking on the agenda?
There is a caller at this time.
Caller, go ahead.
Caller, your line is unmuted.
Hello. My name is Leslie Smith, and I'm looking at the agenda, and my topic is not on the agenda.
Okay, well, Ms. Smith, then what you can do, you can wait till the end of the meeting, and then we have open comment.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Operator, any other callers?
No other callers.
Okay, we'll close public comment. Item one, excuse me. Item one, CSA 1 and H1.
Mayor's warrant register.
Move allow payment.
Madam Clerk.
Council members, Successor Agency members, and Housing Authority members, Dotson. Padilla. Morales.
Aye.
Falk. Mayor Chairman Butts.
Aye, consent calendar items 2 through 8.
So moved. Second.
Madam Clerk.
Council members, Dotson.
Aye.
Padilla.
Aye.
Morales.
Aye.
Falk. Mayor Butts.
Aye. We'll have a brief presentation for an update on the Inglewood Transit Connector project.
Yes, Mr. Lewis Atwell, Public Works Director, will introduce our speaker.
Hello, Mayor and Council. Today we're here to present on the Inglewood Transit Connector, and we brought in Lisa Trifoletti of Trifoletti Consulting to provide an update on the project. Thank you.
Good afternoon. We also have Sanjeev Shah available for answering any questions. He's on the line. What we wanted to do is just give you a very brief progress report. Wanted to tell you about the very good news that we have the draft EIR that was released, and the close of the public comment period had occurred. We had received roughly about 80 comment letters, and in large part, the majority of those comment letters showed support for the project. We had about 13 letters that raised some questions about the historic, downtown Inglewood area. We can talk a little bit about that. Those were generated in large part from folks that do not live in Inglewood. And so we wanted to let you know we had great success. We're making great progress. The comment letters that we received, again, are all being addressed in a final EIR, and we'll be working with the the planning department to wrap up the EIR and bring it forward to the planning commission and to you for final approval. But all very, very positive. Again, in the EIR, we evaluated all of the environmental resource areas. We did disclose only 3 significant impacts. During construction, you have air quality, temporary construction impacts, greatest commitment to clean construction equipment. And then because the elevated automated people mover, as it turns from Market to Manchester, there is likely to be a demolition of one historic building, the hat store, the People's Federal Association building. And that was disclosed in the EIR as a demolition, and that was disclosed as an impact. And so I wanted to make sure that that was revealed, it's disclosed. And we are doing a lot to mitigate that impact, and we have a huge design plan for Market Street and an activation plan for Market Street. But again, because this is a disclosure document, we wanted to make sure that we said that out loud. Again, all of these letters from public agencies to a ton of support from local businesses, a number of union and local, regional and union support, a lot of local support from the Renaissance Homeowners Association and block clubs, and some support also from the industry at large. So wanted to let you know that all came in extremely positive. The EIR talks about a traffic management plan. We will be coordinating, and we had a great session with Inglewood Unified School District about coordinating a traffic management plan with them during construction. Again, we had a robust interface with the AQMD. No comment letter even received from the AQMD. We did get a letter of support from Caltrans. And then we have a commitment to business and community support programs during construction. This shows you that we continue to remain committed to public outreach with all of these various groups, and we've been doing them through Zoom. A very other important progress report, LA Metro has agreed to execute a joint powers authority. And this would serve as a special purpose entity to own, manage, and oversee the design, construction, finance, operation, and maintenance of the ITC project. So right now we're under the umbrella of an MOU, and then upon financial close, this JPA will be the entity of which 2 members of the mayor and city council member, 2 members from Metro, and then our county supervisors will serve on the JPA board. That will be coming before you in the next month, as is Metro is going to also be hearing the JPA approval. Finally, we also have made progress with we're going to be releasing a request for information to the industry. A ton of folks are very interested to build this program. And on March 17th, we are likely going to have an industry forum to invite folks from the industry to talk about innovation, of how they can bring forward a cost-effective strategy. And so that part is coming forward to you, as well as a ordinance. Right now, the city charter does not include the tools for a design, build, finance, operate, maintain, delivery strategy. And so we needed to update the authority for you to be able to have this as a tool. It doesn't mandate you in any way, shape, or form to using it, and it doesn't affect other procurement, but it is an enabling ordinance and a tool for you, which that will come before you also beginning of April. So we just wanted to let you know that these are things coming forward. We continue to make progress. We're on track. And we also are going to start looking for federal funding and starting the NEPA process with LA Metro and FTA. So that's all I wanted to let you know, Mayor. If there's anything else you want to answer, I think that's where we are.
Alex wants to make a comment, so
Okay.
be ready, because it'll be profound.
I stand ready. Yes.
Grab a seat now. I just want to say thank you. I know, you reached out to our Hispanic community, Spanish speakers, and you put information out there in Spanish. And I can't tell you how much that helped with the Spanish speakers that I interact with, because, sometimes they feel left out, the Hispanic community. And you guys did a great job of interacting and engaging with the Spanish speakers. So I wanted to thank you for that, and I appreciate hearing your level of engagement with the community and the business owners, more specifically along Market Street.
Yes.
You know, because I think I sent some emails to the city clerk, folks that their concern was, you know, how is this gonna impact Market Street, you know? And sometimes, you know, because they don't know, they're, you know, that uncertainty. But once we explain it to them, and you've explained it to them in these meetings you had, it really helped calm folks down and resolve some of their uneasiness. But thank you again.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Thank you, Ms. Trifoletti. DR1,
Staff report presenting the fiscal year 2020 through 2021 first quarter budget review report.
and Ms. Buchanan, welcome. But before you get into the first quarter, we had the treasurer predict last year that we would have a $10 million or more budget deficit. What was our deficit for the close of last fiscal year?
1.8 million.
Okay, and that will be absorbed out of general fund reserves, is that right?
Correct.
Okay, so now we're moving forward into the 2021 budget review. With this caveat, this is a snapshot at 3 months,
Correct.
at 3 months' experience. And so what it is an exercise in predicting, based upon the way revenues have come in so far, what our potential budget deficit will be. But with keeping in mind that revenues do not come in a straight line, they come in at the time that the
Cyclical.
Board of Equalization brings in revenues to us when the property taxes are tendered. And so with that in mind, please go ahead.
Want to introduce or? Okay. Okay, good afternoon, Mayor, Council, staff, and members of the public that are viewing. I'm glad to present the city's fiscal year 2021 first quarter presentation report based on the first 3 months of the fiscal year beginning October 1st through December 31st of 2020. The first quarter report presentation provides a snapshot and a summary of the city's financial status, primarily focusing on the general fund, but also highlighting a brief summary of special funds. With that, I will proceed on to our next slide here. Is this on? Sorry about that. There we go. Okay, it was working for her. Okay, there we go. I think we got it now. So with that, I'll begin with our key economic indicators. As you can see, property tax has experienced a 13.6 net taxable value increase compared to the same period last fiscal year. Our sales tax quarterly trends are experiencing a decrease of 11.2% over the same period prior year. Building permit activity has increased 33.4% over the same period last year. Our UUT taxes, utility users tax, is relatively flat over the same period last year. Our hotel tax, which is known as the transient occupancy tax, has decreased 18.1% compared to prior year same period. Unemployment for the city is 15.5%, which is up 230% over the same period compared to last year, where the city was at 4.7%. So the unemployment rate has significantly increased considering the climate that we're in related to COVID. The city expenditures for the general fund are under budget by 17.5% of the proportionate spending of 25% through the first quarter. This slide presents a snapshot of the general fund budget as a starting point as of October 1 of 2020. For this fiscal year, revenues are $129,432. Our expenditures are $138,892,651. That projects a deficit of $9.8 million for this fiscal year. As the Mayor mentioned, we're still within our first 3 months of the fiscal year thus far, so we have not determined what we actually anticipate our year end would be this early on. We will be revisiting that information as we proceed throughout the months closer to our mid-year.
And real quick, Ms. Buchanan, again, this is a snapshot in time based upon the conditions of COVID, the unemployment that exists, the fact that people aren't shopping and dining, and this is a snapshot at this point in time that could change markedly if the vaccine becomes prevalent and people
Correct.
start shopping and dining again. Is that right?
That is correct.
Because we depend heavily on those taxes.
Yes.
All right.
Yes. So here we have these are our revenue categories that make up the total general fund revenues. Of the current total general fund revenue budget amount of $129.1 million, the city has received $23.5 million, or 18.2%, in revenues at first quarter compared to $26.3 million in the prior year of the same period. Now, on the next slide, I'll go through each revenue category and briefly discuss the increases and decreases that concluded where we are at our first 3 months. So on this slide, you can see our revenue performances for the revenue categories. The utility users' taxes are relatively flat, experiencing a decrease of $11,475, which is a 0.3% decrease. Now, although the user's tax appears to be relatively flat this quarter, UUT electric and water has increased while the UUT telephone and cable has decreased. So there seems to have been a shift in terms of how the utility users are now using these services, considering that they're home with COVID. Our sales tax are down $538,389, or 11.2%. This decrease is attributed to industry groups such as fuel service stations, autos and transportation, and some selected business industry groups. As we all know, autos and transportation took a major dive during the impacts of the COVID, because people are doing less traveling, less renting vehicles, and things like that. Our property taxes are up $875,902, or 11.8%. And the property tax has experienced a 13.6 net taxable value increase citywide. Other local taxes, these taxes include business license fees, card club, transient, pari-mutuel, franchise tax, which these are the heart of some of the revenues that are currently being impacted because of COVID. Our other local tax are down $2.8 million, or 46.3%. This is directly related to the impacts of COVID, which has affected the card club, the TOT, the admissions, parking, and pari-mutuel taxes. In the last category, which is other revenues, they're also slightly down by $358,000, or 7.8%. Although revenues are down in this category overall, it is important to note that there were revenue increases in our building permits and our zoning and subdivision that were offset by the decreases, which were attributed to reduction in police-provided services for our reimbursements, supergraphics, and investment earnings and interest. Overall, revenues are $2.9 million, or 11% less than prior year, due to our other local tax categories, sales tax, and other revenues. So on the next slide here, we will go into our general fund expenditures and performances. Of the total current general fund expenditures budget amount of $145.7 million, the city has expended $30 million, or 20.6% in expenses at first quarter, compared to $28.1 million in the prior year of the same period. And again, on this next slide, I will go through these categories, our expenditure categories as well, giving you the decrease and explaining the increase and decreases of these categories. So as you can see here for the first quarter, for our expenditure categories, the first line combines our police and fire services together. So police and fire expenditures are down 1 million combined, or 5.2%. Although our fire contract did experience an increase of $400,000, or 7.4%. Now, the decrease within this category is due to police vacant positions, reduction in overtime, and reduced pension costs. I'll address that matter now because that's going to be a running explanation that I'll provide for all of the operating categories here that all represent as being less than prior year. The general fund, although it has experienced a slight increase compared to last quarter, the majority of the operating departments have had a decrease due to the unfunded accrued liability bond refinance, reducing the costs related to retirement for all departments. So as we continue on, economic and community development, along with our housing protection unit as a category, they show an increase of $274,000, or 25%. That's primarily due to the creation of the new housing protection department. Economic community development was actually down $73,000, or 6.7%, for a reason as previously stated, related to reduced pension. Parks, recreation, and community services, coupled with our library as a category, their combined decrease is $91,000, or 4%. That's due to vacant positions and reduced pension costs. Public Works is down $444,000, or 22.2%. The decrease is mostly attributed to capital outlay and reduced pension costs. General government, which consists of all the remaining operating departments such as mayor, council, treasurer, city clerk, legal, administration, HR, and finance, experienced a decrease of $236,000, or 5.9%. And that decrease as well is due to vacancies and reduced pension costs. So overall, expenditures for the general fund are up 6.9%. And the difference is 1.9 from prior year higher. This was due to not the operating departments, as you can see, but due to the fire contract, capital improvement project activity, bond payment, and the new housing protection department. That concludes our general fund. Now, on this slide, I'll present to you some information regarding our special fund performances. As you can see in the top half of our special fund category, it speaks to the revenues, and the bottom half speaks to the expenditures. I'll speak jointly for each category at once. So I'll speak about the special revenue fund category for both expenses and revenues and so forth. The special revenue fund revenues are down $2.6 million, or 17.3% collectively for the same quarter last fiscal year. We received 10% of the budget. This decrease is mostly attributed to less revenue activity related to RSI projects. In terms of the special revenues for the expenditure side for those funds, these expenses are also down by $683,000, or 5.2%. We've expended 8% of the budget. The decrease is attributed to less activity related to contract services and various public works, transportation, grants, and special funds, which is mostly project activity. The next category, which I have an asterisk and a footnote for, that's the internal services special fund category, which is only used for internal financial purposes only. So we'll go on to the proprietary fund. The proprietary fund revenues are up $915,000, or 9.5% collectively for the same quarter last fiscal year. We've received 23% of the budget. The increase is mostly due to the increase in water rates, resulting in increased water sales. In terms of the expenses for the property proprietary funds, those expenses are down $507,000 or 6.2% collectively for the same quarter last fiscal year. We have expended 15% of the budget. The decrease is mostly attributed to the parking and sewer fund. Sewer's decrease is attributed to a one-time machinery and equipment purchase that was made during the same period last fiscal year. And then the parking fund's decrease is attributed to contract and special expense reductions related to pending contracts. As far as our debt services, our debt service shows we're up 3.8 compared to the prior year. The amount could vary based on the debt schedule and/or transfers in and out. The transfer in for this increase is related to our bond payment. And there were no reportable expenditures for the first quarter for bond payments, which are due, I believe, in March and September. And now we have our capital improvement project financial summary slide here. This CIP budget includes a current appropriation of $99.7 million. Of this amount, a total of 1.7 or 1.7% has been expended as of first quarter ending December 31st, 2020. There's a total encumbrance amount for future commitments of $31.3 million or 31.4% of the total current appropriation for our projects. This slide shows the project status by category. So we have a total of 19 projects that are in construction phase and 9 projects that are under contract for design. As of the first quarter, a total of 28 CIP projects are active. And that concludes my report.
Okay, any questions from
questions?
council?
Briefly, Mayor.
Yes.
Thank you very much for your update, very thorough. I think we all understand kind of the impact that COVID has had. At one of the earlier slides on unemployment, I think you described it as 230% change,
Yeah.
but you described it as regional. What does that mean as comparison to what it means here to us?
We compare ourselves to LA County, us in LA County.
Yeah.
That's it. This is technically,
So it changed 230% for us or 230% for the region?
it changed 230% for us. They're literally 2% different.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So we're all within the
She-
same
We're all
net.
within the same
We
gap.
were at 4.7%,
Right.
and then we went up to 15%.
Yeah.
But keep in mind,
And theirs is at about, I want to say 17% or something.
Yeah.
Mayor,
Go ahead.
but just to add to what Councilmember Morales is saying, at one point, we were at what, 17.5%?
7.5.
So we're still, considering COVID and the significant impacts it's had not only in Inglewood, but everywhere, when you think at one point, we're at 17.5, 15%. Not to say that that's good, because it's not. We want our folks working. That's why, that's what we want to do. But still, we're doing,
But not even
comparatively
COVID has
speaking,
taken us to that decrease.
yes, COVID has impacted all of our communities, and we get that. We understand it.
Thank you.
Okay, and last thing before I let you go, that budget number, the 6.9, I think you said?
6.9.
Yeah, the 6.9, that's an extrapolation for the whole year if everything stays the same, is that right?
I only recalled the 6.9% that I spoke to about the expenditures. What was this 6.9?
No, I'm talking about the deficit you projected.
Oh, the 9.8 for the current year.
9.8.
That was just our starting point of what we built when we started the budget.
But it extrapolates for a year.
That is correct.
Exactly, and it's based on 3 months' experience. So it could definitely change and will change.
Oh, it will change.
It will change, all right.
Yes,
Thank
it
you
will
very
change.
much. And one more thing, I don't know if this is a Sharon or David question. We do have, if that did manifest itself throughout the year, we do have more than adequate reserves. That's correct. Okay, thank you. Okay. SPH 1.
Staff report requesting that a public hearing be set to consider an ordinance amending Inglewood Municipal Code Chapter 2, Administration, Article 5, Purchasing, to add Section 2-196.1, Inglewood Transit Connector Procurements, to achieve the following. 1, authorize the use of alternative project delivery methods, and 2, establish certain requirements for procurements and contracts related to the proposed Inglewood Transit Connector project initiated pursuant to such authorized alternative project delivery methods.
Set the public hearing for April 6, 2021 at 2 p.m. A1.
Thank you, Mayor. We had 2 closed session items. The first one was Gold Hide, which is a claim for a trip and fall that occurred in the city of Inglewood. As to that matter, is a request for settlement authority up to $11,000.
Madam Clerk.
Council members Dodson, Padilla,
Aye.
Morales,
Aye.
Falk, Mayor Buds.
Aye.
The second matter was the same. It was a claim for Darnell Huntley versus City of Inglewood. That is also a claim. There's a request for settlement authority for that trip and fall matter for the amount of up to $10,000.
So moved.
Second.
Madam Clerk.
Council members Dodson,
Aye.
Padilla,
Aye.
Morales,
Aye.
Falk, Mayor Buds.
Aye. A2.
And thank you, Mayor. As to A2, there's no more reports from the city attorney's office.
CM1.
Thank you, Mayor. There are no oral reports from the city manager's office.
CC1.
Yes, Mayor, thank you so much. I wanted to start off my comments with letting our city know that the United States Census sent our city a recognition for participating in the 2020 census. They send their thank you to our entire city and to the employees that work closely with them, so I wanted to be sure that was mentioned. Also, just a reminder to our residents in the 30th Senate District that there is a special primary election happening on March the 2nd this year, 2021. All registered voters eligible to participate should have received their mail-in ballots by now. And we do have mail drop box located at the Edward Vincent Park. My deputy and I went out and we posted signs so that you will know where to go, and that is the drop box. They're located on the screen. Also, you can cast your votes on Election Day, March the 2nd, at either Centinela Elementary School or Frank D. Parent Elementary School. Both locations are located here in the city of Inglewood, and hours of operation on Election Day is from 7 a.m. until 8 p.m. And in closing, I would like to just pay homage. This is our last day within Black History Month for council meeting, and I want to encourage our residents by saying, dream like Dr. Martin Luther King, lead like Harriet Tubman, fight like Malcolm, think like Garvey, write like Maya, build like Madam C.J. Walker, speak like Frederick Douglass, educate like W.E.B. Du Bois, believe like Thurgood Marshall, challenge like Rosa Parks, empower like Obama, inspire like Kamala Harris. And a quote from Harriet Tubman says, remember, you have within you the strength, the patience, and the passion to reach the stars to change the world. Thank you, Mayor. That concludes my remarks.
Well, all power to the people. There are no appointments to boards and public comment. Any person wishing to comment on any item connected with city business not covered on the agenda may do so at this time. Your time is 1 minute. When you hear this, means 10 seconds are left. Are there any callers?
As a reminder, please dial #2 to enter the queue. No callers at this time. Here we have one. Caller, your line is unmuted.
Can I speak now?
Yes, ma'am, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you. My name is Leslie Smith, and I am a property owner in the city of Inglewood for 22 years. My issue is actually with the information that I have received based on, I gave a tenant a lease termination, and when he did not move and on a according date, I reached out to the the court clerk's office. They informed me that I need to complete an unlawful detainer, which I did. Had the sheriff serve him. He avoided them. 4 attempts were made. So then I got a post served. When I went in on the 16th of this month to get that the sheriff to lock him out, the clerk told me that I could not lock him out because he had answered. And my issue is this is a lease termination. This is not a pay or quit notice. This is a lease termination because of the sporadic way that he has paid his rent. My problem is that I am getting delayed information consistently, and it's allowing him to continue to stay there. And I am hurting. I am still paying my mortgage. I'm still paying the water bill. And I want to know, what can I do to get this tenant out of my property? He has not done anything according to the Senate Bill 3088 or Assembly Bill 91. He is just not paying his rent. And I've contacted his employer, and he is still working.
Okay, so there's a lot to unpack there. First of all, the eviction process is handled by the courts and the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department. And what's going to
That is correct.
and what's going to have to happen is that the court is going to have to give you an authorization for eviction. Then the Sheriff's Department will be contacted, and they will do a lockout. And so the issue is that apparently someone in the court has told you that there are more steps that you can go through, have to go through. And so if I were you, if I had an attorney, or even if I didn't, I would go down to the court and run through this specifically with them and ask them what step you need to take before the sheriffs come to perform the lockout.
Okay. I'm going to say this. I've been working for the state for 22 years. I'm going, next month will be 23 years. And I've done that. I've owned this property for 22 years itself. So I've done that. I went to the clerk. That's what I'm saying. They've given me information bit by bit. Today I learned that I need to, because I put his address on the documentation, they couldn't send him the document of notice to go to court. So now I got to start all over.
Okay.
Is this?
Hey, ma'am. Like I said, you know, this is definitely not something that we're going to solve here at a council meeting. We have a housing protection unit. You could call them. The number is 412-52 Housing Protection, and they just have more knowledge than we do. 412-5282.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. We're still 3-1 up. All right, thank you. Operator, or any other callers?
Yes, 2 more at the moment. Next caller.
Gil Matthew, District 4. Can you hear me?
You can hear you fine, Gil.
Okay, look, I'm calling to support Jan Vogel and the One Stop Center. He's been here a long time. Now, we have a win-win situation. It's how much we want to support it. We have a one-stop center right across from City Hall. And we have an opportunity that we can locate a skills center in the city of Inglewood. This is something that will be a positive to Inglewood. He worked for the city for 22 years, and they had problems here with the politics of Inglewood, administrations, and we have the same problem now. All of these little popcorn politicians of Inglewood, they do not understand. Okay. And Mr. Mayor, you've been gone for 20 years.
Okay, Gil, we're at time. Thank you, I appreciate it.
Yeah, I know you're always at time.
Operator, next caller.
Caller, your line is unmuted.
Yes, how's it going, Mayor? But I'm still fighting this whole situation. I know the city attorney should have information from my legal team, but I just want to put this out there where I think you need to be recalled, Padilla, for what y'all didn't do regarding that legal lockout, and also Cinder Ellis, your community outreach liaison, had a gentleman tried to jump me and the nephew of the retail store, Center Stage, right across the street, the woman that you talked to, Mayor Butts, that you didn't think I know about. And I want to make everybody know about Mayor Butts. Came to that building, saw the lease, saw all my information. Once I told him I was going to take the city of court, so sudden I got arrested. Mayor Butts, you had on Facebook, I got media text that I do a great job in the entertainment, what I do, and I'll let you know. So, like I told you 8 years ago, God is getting ready to remove you, Padilla, and Eloy. And I hope I'm not
next caller.
No more callers in the queue.
Okay, with that, we'll close public comment. Mayor and council remarks. Councilman Dodson, did you have anything for the good of the order?
Thank you, Mayor. First, I'd like to thank the Finance Department for such a great review. And I hope that the people were paying attention. The first thing, I hope they remember that this is just a snapshot of time. This is just the first quarter. We got 3 more quarters to go. So when you hear that negative stuff, don't pay attention. This is the truth. This is where the rubber meets the road. Once again, thank you so much for the report. Grace Park Townhouse. I want to invite all of you, if you had not ridden down Prairie lately, between Florence and Manchester, there's a townhouse development going up there. I can't believe how quickly they are selling. Just take a ride and look and see how many of those homes are being put up there. I remember when I was on the planning commission that came in, at the time we didn't think they would sell. But let me tell you, they're selling like hotcakes. The other thing is the parks. Please adhere to the signs in the park. I understand we want to play this and want to do all that, especially baseball. We have not gotten the okay from the county. So just bear with us. As soon as we get the okay, we will get going and you can get started. So just please just adhere to the signs we have in the park. The other thing is, I'm having a Zoom meeting, my first Zoom meeting of the year. It will be the 26th of this month, 2/26/21. And it will be, we would hope that you would either call in at my office number, 310-412-8602, for more information, or if you have any questions or you have something that you would like for us to talk about, please call that number or email to Councilman George Dotson at AOL.com. So this is my first meeting of the year. So since we can't do it in person, we're going to do it via Zoom. So thank you very much. Everybody had a wonderful day and have a great week.
Councilman Padilla, District 2.
Great, thank you, Mayor. Just again, thank you to Lisa for your report on the connector project and the status where we're at. and also the finance report. You know, folks are always, you know, we heard, as the mayor mentioned, you know, our treasurer had made some claims that we were gonna be in deep trouble. And, you know, you listen to the report, and it's the farthest thing from the truth. Not this, you know, we still have room for improvement, but we are not where she was indicating. So thank you for your report. Mayor, I want to thank you for doing the tribute to Zola Jones, you know, Black History Month. It's the last day of the recognition. I also want to recognize my neighbor who is just turned 98 years old over the weekend, and he's a judge. You know, so you think about this young black man back in those days and the challenges that he's had to go through. And I've had the pleasure of talking with him. You know, he's still alert. I mean, he's great. He's awesome. So I'd like you to also close in celebration of his 98th birthday, Judge Albert D. Matthews. I'll give you the slip with the name. Happy birthday, Judge, and keep on keeping on. You know, he's a lot of fun. He enjoys his guacamole and chips, you know, so I make sure I hook him up. I'd also ask you to close in the memory, a lot of us know Fiesta Martin Restaurant and Saul and Gloria, the owners. Saul's mother passed away just a couple of weeks ago, Soledad Martin, and may she rest in peace. So please close in her memory. Thank you.
Okay. Councilwoman Falk, District 4.
Yes, Mayor. So I would first like to say that I attended a very nice dedication ceremony for former council member Ralph Franklin over a week ago now. I meant to mention it last week, but I didn't get a chance to. But a very nice dedication ceremony at Crenshaw Imperial Shopping Center. And they honored him with a plaque, a bench, and also a koi pond mural. And so it's just a very nice setting right there in front of Dee Dee's Fashion. So I invite everybody in Inglewood to go and check it out. It's a very nice dedication to him. I was happy to participate, and he was thrilled to have that honor. So it was just very nice. Check it out if you can. It's beautiful.
Ralph Franklin Bench. The Ralph Franklin Bench.
Yeah, a Ralph Franklin Bench. Yeah, so anyway, also I am having, Councilman Dotson, I'm having my first virtual meeting the day before yours. So I guess we think alike, right? So I am having a District 4 Town Hall on this Thursday, the 25th at 6 p.m. And looking forward to it. It will be the first ever virtual. I know former councilman always had in person. So I'm doing a virtual one. Looking forward to having that. Have a lot of great information that we need to provide our District 4 residents. And then also looking forward to introducing myself officially to them. So please join me on Thursday the 25th at 6 p.m. Lastly, Mayor, I'd like for you to close in honor of Ms. Pearl Rocket, a District 4 resident that operated the Crenshaw Imperial Car Wash, located at 3245.
You're where we closed the meeting 2 weeks ago in her honor.
Okay, oops.
Okay, all right.
So, yeah, but, so just wanted to mention that as well. So thank you,
Okay.
Mayor.
All right. Council Morales, District 3.
So I just want to know if the city clerk got a permit to put up signs. Yeah, you're doing a great job then, in that case. No, I don't have anything, Mayor. I just want to thank everybody for coming out and everybody that pays attention to what we're doing. And thank staff for the budget review. That's it. Thank you very much.
Okay, a little update about the city's efforts at combating COVID. We've had about 2,854 cases in the city, probably 254 deaths. We have vaccines lines at the forum. we had about 250 people inoculated at Trinity, the Trinity building at Faithful Central Bible Church yesterday, or was it Sunday? On Sunday. We are working with SoFi to open up their facility and working with the county and the LAUSD to do a mass vaccination for teachers. The Inglewood Unified School District is working with Kaiser, and they're going to do on-site vaccinations for them. And we're also working with the county right now for our 8 senior homes to see if we can either have them vaccinated at the senior center or ideally go to our senior center homes so that the non-ambulatory folks can get their vaccinations. So we're working every angle to get as many Inglewood residents vaccinated as possible. And with that, I'll close in the name of Soledad Martin and celebrating the 98th birthday of Judge Albert D. Matthews. And it's worth saying again that we'll close in the name of Pearl Rocket because she was just a great, great anchor and pillar of our community. And we're adjourned.